Biden is spending government money to help criminals vote for Democrats. And there are deaths after receiving vaccines, COVID vaccines, not necessarily from the vaccines, but it's quite possible. And there's also alleged Russian anti-vaxxer disinformation per CNN. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Monday, March 8th, 2021. Happy birthday, White Chris. Very nice. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, catch the Hake Report. Jesse's final hour is coming up. Final hour for this day. Coming up after this, it's 7:55 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Catch my show afterwards, thehakereport.com/show. Biden signs an election executive order to increase voting by criminals, according to the Epoch Times. The order will direct the Attorney General to push educational materials related to voting and facilitate voter registration for all so-called eligible individuals in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Federal criminals, right? That's a fact sheet distributed by the White House, what it says. Biden is also asking the U.S. Marshals Service to facilitate voting by mail and provide eligible criminals information on voting and voter registration. The order is meant to promote voting access, which of course is a communist buzzword. If you have the best ideas, you have nothing to hide. Let the people vote, Biden said March 7th to the Martin and Coretta Scott King Unity Breakfast. Cringe, right? Before signing the order. Biden's puppet masters are requesting leave for federal employees to vote or to volunteer as poll workers, ensuring that the federal government serves as a model to other employers to pay people not to do their normal work, but to go support Democrats at the expense of their private boss. The order further directs the federal government to establish a Native American, meaning American Indian, voting rights steering group, whatever. Adverse incident reports, 966 deaths following the vaccination. The Epoch Times reports between December 14th and February 19th, about 2 months, nearly 20,000 reports were made to the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, VAERS, which you self-report. It's a government website, U.S. government. The 966 deaths represent 5% of the total number of adverse events. You know, you can get a rash or whatever. There have been over 100 million vaccine doses administered by now. I don't know what point it was mid-February. But of those who died, 9% died the same day that they got the shot. An additional 129 died within 1 day. 97 within 2 days, 61 in 3 days. 514 total died within a week of the shot. 173 in the second week, 106 in the third week. 85% of deaths were people over age 60. 57 people died in their 50s, 20 in their 40s, and a handful each in their 20s and 30s. Compared to the flu shot, the reported death rate following COVID vaccination is much higher than the reported death rate following the influenza vaccine, which is the flu shot, right? Granted, there's much more attention on this vaccine than flu shots, which are admittedly overhyped every year by media and libs and woman-corrupted health industry. The CDC's data allows only a ballpark estimate of the rate of deaths following the flu vaccination. In 2019-2020, the flu season, the CDC reported 52% of the U.S. population received a vaccine, about 170 million people. VAERS, reports that in the calendar year 2019, there were 45 deaths following vaccination. 2018, VAERS reported 46 deaths after the flu shot. 2017 reported 20 deaths. Austria suspended the use of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine batch after a death happened. Reporting from Zurich, Australian authorities suspended inoculations with a batch of the AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine as a precaution while investigating the death of one person and the illness of another, according to the Epoch Times. And one man developed fever and rashes following the China-made COVID vaccine. And did you know that there's a Russia-made COVID vaccine? And so supposedly the Russian trolls are sowing disinformation about the American vaccines in order to promote their own Sputnik V vaccine. That's according to CNN and the State Department. I'm James Hake. Now on to Jesse, Hour 3.